that everything we review today is strictly for educational purposes and not investment or financial advice. So we're not giving any recommendations to any trades, just simply going over how to familiarize with the platform. So when you first launch the tastytrade platform, you're going to be presented with a dashboard. So kind of like checking the weather, this is a quick way in the mornings to glance at the overall market conditions, because at the top, you're going to see a little line graph of SPY, the S&P 500 ETF. Directly below this, you're going to see any relevant news that's coming into the market, and this is updated on an hourly basis. And there's also a little refresh button right here. So if you click that, it's going to refresh. Maybe you'll see some more news coming in. Anything new about Boeing? Not yet. Now, if you scroll down a little bit, you're going to see some watch list. So we have any companies that's reporting earnings soon. And then in the middle, we have dividend champions, which are just companies that increase their dividends for 25 consecutive years. And to the right, just some fast movers in the market. Now, if for any reason you find that you don't need this information or you don't want to see the dashboard when you sign in, then in the bottom left corner, you're going to see the show on startup button. And if you toggle this off, when you launch the platform the next time, it's not going to bring up the dashboard. Okay. For now, I'm just going to minimize it. So next, I want to show everyone how fast the platform is and how you can place a trade. And we're well known for trading options, and the platform's layout is very quick and easy to make the order routing process very efficient. So just an example, if I want to open a position in Tesla, let's go ahead and replace the current active ticker symbol. So by default, it's probably on SPY for you. If you left click on this box and type in Tesla, TSLA, and hit enter, you're going to see the quotes pop up at the top and then the options chain pop up for Tesla as well. If you don't know the ticker name, what you can do is actually spell out the company, TESLA, and then it should bring up the ticker symbol as well that you can select. Okay. Also, if you already have a watch list created on the left side, you can just left click on each one of these symbols, and then it's going to populate the options chain for that specific ticker right there. Let's go back to Tesla. If you haven't created a watch list already and you want to know how, what you can do as well is go to the Help Center. So you're going to see all these icons along the left side panel. If you left click on this question mark icon, it's going to bring up our Help Center. And then if you search for a keyword, let's say we type in watch list, we should have a resource in the Help Center that will walk you through on how to do that. So it should be the watch list overview. You can even import a watch list if you're coming from another platform. You can import that watch list as well. So the instructions should be there. Let's minimize that. Okay, well, let's go ahead and route an order. I'm going to select next week's expirations. And let's say we want to buy just a very basic call option on Tesla. And we are going to look at the ask because I want to go long. We're going to buy at the ask. Let's say I want to buy these 180 calls. I'm going to click on the premium under the ask at 201. You're going to see the contract details pop up in the bottom left corner. So one contract of the April 19, 8 days expiration, 180 calls, and then buy to open right there. In the middle, you're going to see the limit price box. And I can use the up and down arrows to make the order. Let me see, click it right here. If I move the arrow down, you're going to see that I can get it for a bargain. Or if I highlight the number in the limit price box, I can type in where I want. So you don't have to click that arrow so many times. And after everything looks good, I'm going to click review and send. This gives me one more opportunity to make sure that this is the correct order. You can also see the commissions, any fees, and then how much your buying power is going to be reduced by. Let's go ahead and send the order. And now you see that it's working because I put it at 1.75. So currently this order is working until it reaches that limit price, and we can see this in the activity tab on the right side panel. If your right side panel is collapsed like it is now for me, all you have to do is click on this arrow right there. And then it should allow you to pop out the right side panel, click on activity, and we see that working order in Tesla. This way you stay on one screen. If I want to replace that order, I can right click on it and go to replace. And now you can see the order ticket pops up on the main tab. So let's say instead of 1.75, maybe I want to do a market order to get in fast. What I'm going to do is change the order type from limit to market and then send the order. And there we go. We got filled at 2.04. And we can double check this order if we go into, let me clear this out, remove the drawing. We're going to pop back out that right side panel, go to activity, and there we go. We got filled at 2.04. And we can double check this if we go into our positions tab. So above trade, you're going to see positions. Let me clear out this drawing. And then I'm going to click on Tesla. And then here we have that one contract that we just bought. So if I want to close this position, this is how quick it's going to be. All I have to do is right click on the contract. It's going to give me many different options. I'm going to select close position. And then I'm going to sell this at the market. I just want to get out. Send order. Filled at 1.96. So we got in, got out in just a few clicks. Okay, so I hope everyone was able to see how fast it is to get an order in, replace it if it was not immediately executed, and how quickly we can close out the trade. And if anyone's curious, this was a real trade. We don't have any paper trading or simulated discounts. This is all real, and this order was just executed. Okay. Now, I'm sure many of you are more advanced traders and want to see how to put on a spread. So let's go back to the options chain on Tesla and make sure that you are on table. So after you click on trade, make sure your trade mode is on table. If you see a bell curve, you're probably on curve mode, just switch it back to table, and then you can see a traditional options chain. Let's clear that out. So previously, when we bought a long call, we selected the premium under the ask. And then if we want to sell, we're going to sell at the bid. So let's just set up a basic vertical bull call spread. What we're going to do is let's use that 180 strike again. We're going to left click on the premium under the ask at 1.96. And let's say we don't want to do a 5-point spread at 185. So now I'm going to left click on the 0.85. Now, if you look at my order ticket, I now have two contracts. I have the 180s that we're buying to open and the 185s that we're selling to open. And if you also notice in the bottom left here, above where your contract details are, you have different options. You can create a bracket order, which we'll touch on later. You can adjust the strikes up or down, the width of your spread, how many contracts you want. If this is a wrong expiration, you can add or subtract time from it as well. Okay. Just an example, let's say I want to move the strikes down. I'm going to click on the down arrows. So now it's shifting my strikes down. Now I have 185, 190. Instead of a 5-point spread, maybe I want to do 10, 15, 20-point wide spread. I'll just increase it by clicking on the width here. Another thing you can do is you can just manually left click, hold, and drag the strikes up or down on the options chain. And that way you can adjust your strikes as well. Or you can just click on clear. And this will remove everything from your order ticket. And then you can just go back and reselect the legs that we want. So for example, I wanted to do the 180s and sell the 185s. Just an example, let's say you want to do a ratio spread. So there's a couple ways to go about that. What you can do is look at your contract details in the bottom left corner. Let's say I want to buy 2 of the 180s and just sell one 185. So I have a pretty long bias here. I'm going to double click on the 180s. You're going to notice that it's shaded both on the options chain and in the bottom left corner. And then I'm going to select the quantity arrow to the right. So now I have a 2-to-1. You can do 3-to-1 as well. Like that. And let's say I don't want to make it 2-to-1. Let's say I want to make it a 2-lot in general. I can highlight the number in the bottom left corner and then manually type in, let's say I want 50 contracts and hit enter. That's going to adjust both your quantity to 50, so you don't have to click on that quantity arrow 50 times. But let's go back to a 1-lot. Okay. Now, for anyone who would like to see a visual representation of the profit and loss and break-even zones, once you selected the contracts, you can go back to where it says curve and then click on analysis. So let me get rid of these drawings. Oops. And analysis. So now in the curve mode, you can see exactly as the underlying is moving up or down where you're going to see a profit zone and a loss zone. You can add more legs to this too and do different analysis for your positions. And we actually have a really great resource in the Help Center. Again, if you click on the question mark icon in the bottom icon right here, it's going to open up our Help Center. And same thing in the search bar. This time, let's type in analysis mode. And then we're looking at analysis mode overview. And we have a video covering that in great detail as well. I'm sure we can drop it in the chat as well. Okay, let's go back to the platform. Let's switch it back to table mode. And then I want to show you a few more things because this is just a basic vertical call spread, but our order ticket can support up to 4 legs. So if you want to trade butterflies, iron condors, you can certainly add the contracts to the order, or you're going to notice the strategy drop-down menu right here in the middle of the trade screen. So if you click on this drop-down arrow right here, it's going to show you all the different strategies that we can set up for you. If it says short, just click on it and it'll change to long. If it says it's a put, just click on it, it'll change to call. So all of these are interchangeable if you go down the list. Okay. If you have a preset strategy that you do for your spreads, you can also click on where it says show advanced. And this is going to let you change the days to expiration, the target in the money or out the money percentages of the strikes, and also the width of your strikes so that these are predefined for you. And then once you click on go, it's going to line up that order for you. So now that I have selected go in the iron condor, you can see all the contract details in the bottom left. If you want to adjust the strikes up or down, you can use the buttons or drag it up or down on the order ticket as well. So that should make it a little bit easier. Let's clear that out. Let's go ahead and get that vertical call spread routed and see if we can get it filled as well. So let's select the 180s. Let me go back to the April 19th expirations. I'm going to buy the 180s, sell the 185s, just a one lot. The midpoint is at 1.7 at the bottom here. I'm going to click on review and send, but before I do, you're going to see other metrics on the order ticket. So there's a probability of profit. You can see the extrinsic value, probability of making 50% at expiration, some Greeks, delta, theta. You can see the max profit for the trade and the buying power effect that's going to have on your option buying power. So all of that is available on the order ticket. Once I click on review and send, one more chance to double check to make sure this is placed in the right accounts, the correct order, commissions and fees. Looks good to me. I'm going to hit send the order. There you go. I got filled at 1.06. So to confirm that, I'm going to go back into my positions tab. And then if we look at Tesla, it now shows that we have a vertical there. If you don't see the word vertical, then you can group your positions by order chains. So it may be on none or symbol for you. Just click on the drop-down menu, switch it to order chains, and it's going to show you how you open your position and what strategy it was for. So it will make the P&L very clean. So if you look at my positions column, you're going to see that the cost is 106. We got filled at 1.06. Net liquidity is how much it's currently worth right now. Trade price and mark is just going to break it down by your cost basis per contract. And then your P&L, since you open it, P&L for the day and percentage-wise. If you want to set this up, then just go into your settings icon on the positions tab. It should be under details and configuration. And I'll leave this up here for a second because you're going to see two columns, one for displayed, one for not displayed. So this is how I currently have it set up. It makes it very easy to see and track the performance of the positions, but you can add in whatever you want. So let's say I want to add some Greeks in here. Maybe I want to see some delta. Let's see if we can find that. Some data, net delta. So whatever you want from the positions tab, you can add it. And now you can see the delta and data for your positions as well. Okay. So if I want to roll this trade, just an example. Let's say one side of the trade is getting tested, or I just want to roll the entire position and give myself a little bit more time. What I'm going to do is once you group it by order chains, all you have to do is right click in the word vertical, and it's going to automatically select both legs of your position. Or you can go back and just manually left click on both of them, but it'll be much easier just to right click on the word vertical, and it's going to give us all these different features. I'm not going to select close position. I can either do a quick roll, or if I hover my cursor over roll expirations, it will show me how much it's going to cost me to roll to the 26th, May 3rd, May 10th, May 17th, whatever. So just an example, I want to roll to next week. It looks like it's going to cost me 65 cents. Once I select that, if you notice in the bottom left, it's going to show that we are closing the April 19th and then opening the April 26th positions. Same strikes, just bring it out to a different expiration. Let's see if we can get filled. So the midpoint is 0.69, natural's at 81. Let me work it up to maybe 75 cents. Review and send, everything looks good. So I entered 75, but got filled at 73, so about two pennies better. Let's go back into the positions tab. And then now if we look at our position, it is now the April 26 contracts. Okay. So the order chains futures is going to be pretty useful because it's going to keep track of how you roll your positions. And unless you're keeping some sort of a journal or spreadsheet, it may be difficult to see how much you're up or down since you created the position. So with the order chains futures, you don't even have to do that because the platform is going to keep track of it for you. So for example, if I expand the right side menu again, you're going to see all these different icons. This one right here is going to take you to the order chains. Let's go here. So you can see for Tesla, we opened it at 1.06. We then rolled it for 73 cents. And then now this is the current position and it tracks that entire P&L. And we have a really good article for this again in the Help Center. So sorry to keep bringing it up, but if you bring up the Help Center and type in order chains, we should have order chains overview. And this will break it down for you in great detail. Okay. Let me minimize this. Now, I just want to review some of the items you may have saw in the options chain in a little bit more detail. So let's go back. Let me collapse all these different expirations. So in the center panel, you're going to see all the different days to expiration. Let me change this to SPX. So it's going to show you how many days to expiration each one of these are and the date on the left. So if you guys trade 0 DTEs, you can click on April 11th. It will show you right there. And let's go back to Tesla because it looks like we're about to go into an earnings season. And we have a horizontal purple line here that shows when the earnings are going to be reported. So it looks like it's on April 23rd. And it might be kind of small, but the bell icon, there's an arrow on the right side. So that means that the earnings should be on April 23rd after the market, post-market. Let me clear that out. You can also look at some of that information and do some fundamental analysis in the research tab. So if you see all these different icons, this one right here, it's going to take you to research. Let me clear out this drawing right here. So you can see any news that's coming into Tesla, their financials, ratios, what analysts are thinking about Tesla, just information about the company. Okay, but let's go back into the trade tab. And if you notice on the right side, on each one of these expirations, you're going to see the implied volatility and expected move for each expiration cycle. So this can be helpful to look at your options premiums to see if they're juiced up, maybe because of earnings. And then you can see that expected move to see what is the range there. Let me close this out. And then we also have another visual aid. If you open up the April 26th, you're going to see these horizontal blue dash lines right here and right here. And these might be helpful when you're selecting your contracts because it shows you how far out the money these strikes are, whether it's within the first standard deviation or in the second standard deviation. So the first one is going to be the first standard deviation, and the further out you go, 2, and then 3 right below. Let me clear this out. The next thing I want to show is all these different column headers. So to the left and right of the bid and ask on the call and put side, you're going to see columns that has a dot. If it has a dot, it means that those headers are interchangeable. So right now I have delta and volume to look at it, but maybe I don't want to see volume. I'm going to left click here, and it's going to drop down a menu where maybe I want to see open interest. And if I don't want to see delta, I can change it. Maybe I want to see the theta. So all of these, there's so many tools here, but depending on what you want to see when you're selecting your contracts, just find the ones that's relevant for you. If you want more than 2 customizable columns, then try to full screen your platform. Maybe close out of the right side panel, turn the watch list a little bit more narrow by using this bar left and right, and you may be able to get more columns depending on your screen real estate. Okay. So we open a call, we did a vertical call spread. Let's go back and place an order for just stocks. So once you have the ticker symbol pulled up on your watch list, let me change the ticker. Let's try GE. So once you have the ticker symbol pulled up, either on their watch list or at the top of the platform, you're going to see the bid and the ask. So anywhere you see in the platform that has a bid and ask, you can see it, click in and trade it. So if you left click on the ask, you get rid of these drawings. You're going to see the order ticket pop back up again. But this time it's going to show that we are buying GE stock. You're going to still see the options chain here just in case you want to sell a cover call or cover put against the shares. But right now it's just a GE stock order. Right now the mid price is at 157.80. So if I'm okay with that price or want to do a market order, I can change it to market. Or if I want to set up a bracket order with this button right here, let me clear out the drawing. Reroute this order first and go back into the bracket. Okay, once the shares are in my position tab for GE, I'm going to right click on it. It's going to give me an option to do bracket. When I select bracket, it's going to show me two functions. I can set a profit target and a stop loss. So this can be really good for anyone who wants to just set it and forget the trade. Maybe you have to go to work. You can set where you want your predefined profit areas are and stop loss. It'll route both the orders to the market. If one side of the trade fills, it'll close out the other. So if you get filled in your profit, it'll cancel your stop loss. You get filled in a stop loss, it'll cancel your profit target. So you can set this after the trade is opened or if you're initially setting up the trade as well. That's the bracket order feature. Okay. Another way where you can trade stocks or futures is by looking at the charts. So if you go to this icon right here, this is the chart tab. Let me clear out this drawing. So you can see that we got filled on GE at 157.91, and that will show us our entry right here. And if I go back to positions, let's say I want to do a working order to close and take profit at 160. I type in 1.6, review and send it. Let's go back into the chart tab. And you can see that my working order is right there at 160. If I want to make adjustments directly on the charts, once I have the working order on, I can double click on that working order and drag it up or down if I want to make those adjustments. So just an example, let's say I don't want to close at 160. Let's say I want to stop out and get out right now. I'm going to double click on the 160. And now let's me move it up or down. You got to be careful here because as soon as you let go, it's going to route the order. So let's say I want to do it right below where the market is trading at and let go. And now we got filled. And we can confirm that in the activity. We expand the right side menu, activity. So we enter GE at 157.91. We got filled at 158.02. Okay. If I want to check on the profit and losses and don't want to do that mental math, what I can do is go to the history tab. So it'll be this icon right here. It kind of looks like an arrow going around a clock in a circle. It's going to take you to the history. You're going to see all the trades we did on Tesla, where we opened a call, where we did the roll, and then GE. So if I left click on where I bought GE and where I sold it, it's going to show you that I made an 11-cent profit and also any fees and commissions that I paid in the top right corner. Okay, let me get rid of these drawings. For anyone that's trading on multiple monitors, you can also use a feature on the platform called tastycharts. So it's this icon right here. So this is going to allow you to see multiple chart icons, chart windows. And then there's also an arrow in the left corner that's going to allow you to pop this out. And then you can drag this to another monitor. You can make it a 2x2 so you have multiple charts. Maybe you want to see different time frames or just different underlyings at once. You can set it up and drag it to the other side, have the main platform on your primary monitor and have the options chain there. So you can look at the price action, execute your trades. So it can be really efficient. Let me close this out. Okay. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, so hopefully that wasn't too overwhelming or too much information for you, but let me go into the charts in a little bit more detail. So right now it's just a basic chart, right? And this is traditional candlesticks. But let's say you want to trade or look at Heikin-Ashi candles. If you click on this drop-down menu right here, we have a line chart, a bar graph, tick charts if you want. If you want to do Heikin-Ashis, it should be one of these right here. Just an example. Okay. For now, I'm going to keep it on traditional candles. If you want to change the time frame, right now this is a 30-minute, 3-week chart. I'm going to change it to a daily. Let's go back to about 1 year. So now I have a daily 1-year chart right there. We have different drawing tools available as well. Maybe you want to draw like price line, trend lines, Fibonacci extension retracements. It's all here as well. And if you want to see the different indicators that we have, the indicators library is in the top left here. And let's just add some as an example. Maybe we want to add in TTM squeeze. So I'm searching for squeeze. I'm gonna hit add selected at the bottom. Let's add in a couple moving averages as an example. Let's do SMA, simple moving average. Let's add a couple of them. Okay. So once I added those indicators, let me adjust the charts because the oscillator is a little bit invasive. So I'm going to hold this horizontal line and drag it down. That should make the squeeze a little bit smaller. And then it looks like I only have one simple moving average on because I didn't adjust the settings. So I need to go back into the indicators and then select the first simple moving average. To change it, I can customize the parameters at the bottom right here. So by default, the length is on 9, but let's say I can keep that on 9, but let's just make it a different color. So once I left click on where it says color, you see a color palette. Let's change that to yellow. Let's make it a little bit wider so it's easier to see. And then on the second simple moving average, I'm going to change it to 20 days. Change the style, color, make this one purple. And exit out. So now we can do like some technical analysis for a mean reversion play. Okay. All right, so I want to take a quick break just to answer any questions or features you want to see that we haven't covered yet. So what questions do you have? How to change the background? If you're talking about the background color, what you can do is if you go into any of the gear icons, so there's multiple on the platform. There's one here to the right, the word watch list. There's one right here, right here. Any one of those is going to get you into the settings, okay? So let's click on settings, go into general. And then what you're going to see under general is where it says use light color theme. And once I left click on this little square, hit OK in the bottom left, you're going to see that the entire screen turns to a light mode. So for now, I'm going to change it back to dark mode, but this is how you can get a better contrast if you're having trouble seeing with the dark background. General. Can you show how to trade futures? Yeah, absolutely. Here. So what we got to do if you want to trade futures is type in the ticker symbol. So for micro futures, it's MES. If I left click on the bid or the ask at the top here, so it's very similar to how we trade stocks. I'm going to left click on the ask. And if you notice on the order ticket at the bottom, it's now going to show that we are buying one contract of the micro futures. You're also going to see the buying power effect here for one contract, which is about $12.98. You can adjust the limit price at the bottom, but if you're just trying to get in fast, you can change the order type to market as well. Or you can stay on limit. What you can do is also do a bracket order by clicking on this button here. And then you can adjust where you want to enter. You can set a stop loss and a profit taking area all at once. Do we have an analyze feature? Yeah, so let's say you weren't trying to trade just the outright futures and you were trying to do an options on futures for the April 15 expirations. Once I lined up any order, just a bull call spread, for example, and you go back into the curve mode, you're then going to see that trade. So before we even place it, you can see your profit target and stop or profit target and loss zones based on where the underlying is trading at in your entry. Chart settings for showing positions on chart. Okay. We clear out this order ticket. Let's go back to table. Clear out this drawing. What other questions do you guys have? Atipa, if you go into the help center, so click on the question mark icon in the bottom of the should be the very last icon here. Once you bring it up, you can search for analysis mode because there can be a whole video explaining how to use it. But if you go to analysis mode, it should be the second article that says analysis mode overview. We have a video already created on it. So I think that might be a little bit more helpful for you and it'll go into more details. Can you have different chart settings? Yeah, absolutely. So if you're looking at the chart here, you're going to also see a save and a load. So once you save your chart settings and then maybe you put it somewhere in your computer, you can have a separate setup and then load that here as well. So maybe you want to share with some friends or just having some insurance, you can save it and then have a backup, load up different workspaces with the save and load feature. How to set up price alerts on stocks and for an option. Right now, you can do it for the underlying. So let me clear out this drawing. You're going to have to bring out that right side panel again. So click on the little arrow in the square. That's going to pop out this right side menu. At the very bottom, or towards the bottom, second from the last, you're going to see the bell. And then you're going to see alert symbol. So let's say I want to trade Tesla. Looks like Tesla's at 174.80 right now. And I want it to notify me when it crosses 176. So what I'm going to do is make sure that it alerts on greater than. You can do it to the downside as well. It just depends on what you want your alert to be. So I want to do 176.00, create alert. And so you'll see that alert right here. And you can cancel it if you don't want it to trigger. But once it does reach this 176, if you have the app downloaded on your phone and you have push notifications, you should get it on your phone. You should get an email alert, and then it will notify you on this platform as well. And you can create different alerts too. So if you just don't want it at 176, maybe you wanted to move through different levels like 1.77, you can have multiple alerts on the same underlying. So Hitesh, we don't have paper trading. The orders that I did today, they were real orders. So we placed an order on stocks. We did one on Tesla. All of that is right here. We don't have the conditional orders on where you can have an option trigger based on the underlying price yet. So that's coming soon. But what you can do is just set up multiple alerts on where you know it might trigger your option. And so you get notified. And once you get notified, okay, maybe it's time to open up the trading platform and then set up the trade that you wanted to do. So if you want to trade on multiple screens, you can have the trade tab open on the options chain. And then let's say you want to look at the price action on the other. So you'll keep the options chain on the primary. And then if you go to the four squares icon here, it's going to bring you the tasty charts. And once you're in tasty charts, you can have different underlines. Maybe I have Tesla here and maybe the S&P futures to see how everything is trading. But what I can do is pop this out to another window. And so now I have Tesla and the futures up, drag that out to another monitor, and then execute my trades on the primary. Looks like we have another question for futures. So if you want to trade futures, just pull up the ticker symbol. Let's say it's MES. And if it's the outright futures, you can click on the bid or the ask on the watch list or at the top of the screen, and it'll bring up the order ticket where you can route that order. Let's just do it as an example. Let's say I want to buy it at market, review and send it. Everything looks good. So we got filled. So we go back to our positions tab. So now you see that we have an option, a stock, and a futures position in the positions. If you want to just keep the setup nice and clean, there's some order filters here or position filters. I can turn off options. I can turn off stocks so that I can focus on that futures position that I just opened. And let's say it's moving against me. I'm down $2. That's my risk tolerance is reached. I'm going to close it, right click on it, select close. And you can see the order now says sell at the bottom. And then I can get out, let's say at market price. Sold. Let's turn back on the stock and options filter so we can see that Tesla vertical in that Rivian position. The active tab? Yeah, absolutely. So if we go back into trade, click on trade, and then go to active. Let me clear this out. So if it's your first time looking at the active mode, you probably want to leave the safety on because if it's off, then as soon as you click buy or sell, it's going to immediately route that order. But once you have different ticker symbols here, let's say it's on the futures again, if I'm ready to buy it, I can just click, send the order, and then I can make the adjustments directly on here. So just an example, let's buy MES again. So I'm going to left click on ask. I can change the order type from limit to market and hit send order. So now it's been filled. So it will show you the position that you have and where your entry is. And if I want to sell it, I can just click on the bid, hit market again, send it. So everything's on one screen. You can get in and out very quickly. How to view future quotes across multiple expirations. Well, we do have a continuous futures. So if you want to add it to your watch list, it will start with a $sign. And then let's say, for example, it's ES or $sign. Yes. There we go. So this will be a continuous futures contract right there. What other questions do you guys have? Support and resistance levels on the chart. Well, that really just depends on what you're looking for, what you define support and resistance, right? But I can show you how to draw different trend lines. Let's say I want to go back into Tesla. We're going to go back into the chart tab. And let me clean this up so it's easy to see. I'm going to go into my indicators library and just take out some of these moving averages. Okay, just an example. Let's say I think that Tesla is going to cross this 184 resistance level, right? So I want to draw a price line. I'm going to go into my drawing tools. I'm going to hit price level. And then I'm going to drop that price level right here. So now I have a line right there. What I can do is double click on that line I just drew. It's going to bring up a price level menu. Let's make it a little bit thicker so it's easy to see. And then let's call this resistance. Just an example. And let's change the color to maybe red. Okay. So now you can draw a price level, trend lines, whatever you want. Maybe you want a support level all the way down here. Really depends on what you're looking for. But once you draw those lines, you want to remove it, you can right click on it and do remove drawing. Or you can double click it again. It'll bring up that menu. And then remove drawing is in the bottom right corner. Can you roll a put spread and MES futures out in duration? Absolutely. So I just closed that position, but let's say I had Tesla, which I still do. If I want to roll Tesla, I can right click on the word vertical here. So it'll be pretty much the same process for the futures spread as well. Once you right click on it, you can see that you can roll out expirations and it will show you how much it costs to roll out that position. Or if you're going to get some credit back, it'll show you how much credit you will receive too. So just an example, let's say I wanted to roll Tesla out to the 22nd, and maybe I just want to do one leg this time. Let's move out the 185s. And we're going to roll it to the 3rd. So it will show us that we're closing the April 26th, opening the May 3rd. It'll show us the buying power and then how much that trade will cost. And if that's okay with you, you can hit review and send and route the order. Okay. But now I'm just going to clear out this order ticket. How do you set up stocks you want to see in the active trading tab? So if you go back to trade, go into active, you can actually add it to your watch list first. And then once it's in your watch list, you can just select it from here. And then all the symbols from your watch list will be here. So that might be step one. Make sure that you have a watch list created and then go here, find that watch list. If you already made a watch list, but you want to add symbols to it, then you're also going to see that you can add symbol here. So maybe you want to add, do you have any recommendations for a ticker symbol I should add? Let's say maybe MES. It was already there. Maybe Apple, AAPL. Once I search for Apple, I can click on the blue plus sign. And now Apple is in the active trader tab. In the positions filters, you see bonds. Yeah, absolutely. So if you go to your positions, these are just different order filters that we have. Right now, if you want to purchase bonds, you do have to email us or give us a call, and then we can purchase it for you. But once it's in your account and you have this bonds order filter on, you should see that treasury in there. What version are we using? So at the top of your platform, it should show you which version it is. If you refresh the platform, it should always be in the latest one, but it should be here at the top, on the top, very top line. And this is the install program on your computer. Okay. I think I will wrap it up here. Looks like we answered all the questions. So thank you to everyone who took the time to register for the demo and attended the session. I hope this gives you enough information and gives you a jump start on navigating the platform. If you ever have questions or you need a specific feature that you want to look for, just go to our main website and scroll all the way to the bottom. Because at the bottom, you're going to see that we have a contact us section here, bottom left corner. You're going to see our phone numbers, emails that you can reach out. So you can ask for me. My name is Andy, or any one of us on the trade desk. We can certainly help you look for it or any questions you have. Okay. And you can visit the help center, any features you look for as well. But you have anything else, just let us know. Okay.